Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to Mr. Otter Studio. Today we are going to have a lesson on primary colors and very basic blending. So get your paints, whatever paints you want, and your brushes, and let's go. Okay, all you do to begin is get a bunch of different round stuff from around your house of different sizes and start tracing them all over your canvas. And you can make them overlap and just have fun and get creative with where you put your circles. Now put some primary colors on your palette. What are our primary colors? Red, yellow, and blue. These are the colors that make up all of the other colors. Okay, and then you're going to begin by choosing a space, a shape that's made out of your circles, and you're going to paint down some red. Okay, just plain red. And then you're going to choose one of your other primary colors. I'm choosing yellow, and you're going to paint down some yellow around the edges of that shape, and you're going to pull it into that red. And I'm going to do this to another shape, but instead of laying the yellow around the outside, I'm going to put it in the middle, and I'm going to push it into the colors around it. And then I'm going to choose a different primary color for this one. So I've got red, but this time I'm going to use blue to outline and put on the inside. So I'm filling in a couple shapes there, and now I'm going to put in some blue. Now blue and red make purple, right? But you want to make sure that you've got more red than the other color for this, because we're focusing on red. We want to see what happens when we use a different primary color to shade another primary color. So right now we're focusing on red, and we want to make sure if we're using yellow or blue to give it a little variation of color that we're using more of the red than that color. Okay, so just go ahead and fill in all the red shapes that you want for now. I'm just doing a big circle of different red colors so you can see what they look like right next to each other. And then as soon as I'm done with that one, then I'm going to start doing the same thing but with blue instead of red. So I'm going to paint in some blue shapes, and then I'm going to pick one of the other primary colors, either yellow or red, and I am going to either outline or put in the middle those colors. So right there, see, I brought in some red and I'm putting it around. So I'm just going to fill it in, all of my blue colors. And I'm doing it in a big round circle, all my different shades of blue. But this is a very simple activity. We're only using 2 primary colors per shape. And this just gives you a very basic idea of what will happen when you combine those 2 colors, and it will also give you some ideas of how to shade, because you're practicing shading in each and every single different shape, right? And you can experiment also with the types of brushes you use. I find it easier to do outlines with a flat tipped brush, and then sometimes I shade with that brush, or sometimes I'll bring in a pointier, smaller brush. You just experiment. Use this painting exercise to learn about different colors and shading, and just use it to experiment. Okay, now I'm filling in some yellow shapes. Now, when you're combining other colors with yellow, if you want it to stay looking yellow, which is our goal here, then you need to make sure that you're using really mostly yellow and only a tiny bit of the other color. So keep that in mind, because when you're doing red and blue, It's okay if there's a little bit more of the other colors to shade with. It'll still look red or blue. But with yellow, it's very, very sensitive because it's so light. So you can see I just put a teeny tiny bit of red in some of those spaces, a teeny tiny bit of blue in some of the other ones, because I want it to make sure that it stays looking yellow. And I know one of those spaces still looks pretty orange, so I'll go back a little later and add more yellow to make sure that it looks yellow, yellow, yellow instead of orange. So I'm just going to let you watch me fill in all of the other circles, and you can really put any color in any space you want. Okay, so check it out. I have filled in all of my circle shapes, kept them all red, yellow, and blue. Now, if you want, you can leave it like that, or you can just take all the colors on your palette like I'm doing here. I'm combining them with my brush there, you see. I'm gonna mix them up. So it'll just be a muddy, brownish black color. So I'm gonna mix it, and now I am actually going to add little drop shadows on every single circle. This will help it make it look like those circles are popping out of the page and standing on top of each other. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to water down. I've dipped my brush in a little bit of water, not too much, but I'm watering down the paint I'm using. I'm wiping off some of the water because I don't want it too sopping wet, but I'm wetting down some of the paint, which will thin it. And then I'm going to bring it on the right edge of my circle, and I'm going to start thin and make it thicker on the edge, and then bring it around and make it thinner. And I'm not going to paint around the entire circle, just about halfway. So see how it's thinner and then thicker and then thinner? And you can see how it is a little transparent, so you can see the circles behind it, and this will help it look more like a shadow. And the farther out my shadow is, the thinner I'm going to lay down that paint so that it looks more and more see-through and just tapers off. And as all my paint dries, you'll see that I make it a lot more dark and thicker paint closer to the circle. So I'll just add a few more layers. I'm going to do this to every single circle. And yeah, I'll just let you watch. I'll speed it up for you. Alright guys, we are done. I really hope you enjoyed this basic color, primary color and shading lesson. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like this so I know to keep making more like it. And don't forget to share your projects with us on Mr. Otter's Facebook page. You can also join us on Instagram and give us any comments or suggestions or requests below. Alright guys, bye!